Bake my favorite bread loaf with me. We start off with about 2 tablespoons of sugar. This is seen as a growth agent for yeast. 1 cup of water. Ensure that your water is lukewarm. If it's too hot, this will kill the yeast, and if it's too cold, your fermentation might take too long. 1 packet of yeast. Combine these ingredients with either a whisk or a spoon. Yeast is a living organism. It's a magical ingredient in bread. It's a tiny fungus that ferments sugars, producing carbon dioxide. This is what makes the dough rise. The fermentation process also develops complex flavors within the bread. Once this has been well combined, let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your room temperature. The yeast should start to bubble, as you see in the video above. I add my flour first, because if I have to add my salt first, it may kill the yeast. I add about 2 to 3 cups of flour for this stage. You can always add more when needing. About 2 tablespoons of salt and about 2 tablespoons of oil. Also remember to add about 1/4 cup of sugar. Once you've added all your ingredients, transfer it to a mixer, or if you are using your hands, you can slowly combine with your hands starting in the middle and slowly move your way out. If you are using a mixer, ensure that it is on low speed for the beginning for all of these ingredients to combine. Once all your ingredients have combined, you can increase the speed. If you are using a Kenwood like me, the speed level of 2 or 3 should be good enough. Kneading develops gluten. Kneading aligns gluten strands, giving dough its elasticity and structure. Without proper kneading, or an alternative method like stretch and fold, bread may not turn out the way you want it to be. It may be dense or crumbly. How do you know if your dough has been kneaded correctly? Firstly, the dough must not stick to the sides of the bowl. This is why I ensure that I knead after using my mixer, just to ensure that all that gluten has been well developed. Your dough should also not stick to your surface. This is how you know it's ready. You can form a ball at the end and press your finger into the dough. If your dough bounces back, you know that it's ready. Make sure you oil your bowl. This will prevent the dough from drying out as well as sticking to the bowl. You want to cover it with either a damp cloth or cling wrap and allow it to rise for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on your room's temperature. Your dough should double in size. Knock down. Fold each corner or side of the dough into the middle, ensuring that it has been knocked down properly. Remove it from the bowl and place it onto your counter. This is where we begin shaping. Now every baker has their own way of shaping bread. I prefer to lay it out and stretch it out so that I can get a nice even loaf. I pull each side in, creating a rectangle. An interesting fact about salt: besides enhancing flavor, Salt strengthens gluten and slows yeast activity, preventing over-fermentation. Without salt, bread dough would ferment too quickly and taste bland. Close the sides and the bottom of the bread by pinching the dough together. This will make sure that the bread holds its shape and doesn't ooze out when baking. Bread has a gelatinization stage. When bread bakes, starches absorb water and swell, turning into a gel-like structure. This process, called starch gelatinization, helps create a soft yet structured crumb. Very important tip is always to make sure that you spray your pan. Otherwise your bread will stick, and this may break it when you are trying to pull it out. Your second fermentation phase is normally about half an hour, also depending on your room temperature. I bake my bread at 150 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes, depending on the size of your loaf. The Maillard creates flavor and color. This is the golden brown crust on bread. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and leave us some comments on what you'd like to see next.